Hey guys, latest news with Crypto Marie, local and international. Tim Walz takes responsibility for Trump chaos. I own this. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the Democratic nominee for vice president last year, has voluntarily taken the rap for the mess the country is in. During a discussion about President Donald Trump's tit for tat trade war with Canada and MSNBC's All on Wednesday, he said if he and White House hopeful Kamala Harris were able to get their campaign over the lines to the US wouldn't be in such economic disaster. I don't think so, sir. I don't understand the logic of you taking blame for this mess. You guys only had 107 days to do the job. You did the best you could. To the best of your abilities, you go out there and let the American people know what was in mind for them, what you guys wanted for them in the future. They did not listen to you guys. The fact that you take full responsibility, I don't understand the logic behind that. If you want to take full responsibility, that's on you. But when it comes to VP Kamala Harris, they did not give her enough time. And the little time they gave her, she raised $1 billion. She traveled everywhere she could to make sure her message went through. They ignored her because she was a woman. She was a black woman in America. They did not give her a chance to prove to them she could continue what Joe Biden was doing. It was being racist towards her, misogynist towards her, did not want to see a woman in charge. But I don't see how Tim was gonna take responsibility. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think VP Kamala Harris did anything wrong. This is the country we in. This is America for you. They are racist. They were not willing to see a black woman in charge. Hello? Walz took shots at Trump, calling him the worst possible business executive that I have ever witnessed, and urged the business community to speak up, adding that the current trade war is stupid. Walz then took responsibility and look, I own this. He told host Chris Hayes, we wouldn't be in this mess if we had won the election. And we didn't. We have to make sure that Americans know it's not just that Donald Trump is bad, but we are offering them something better. And I think that's what we need to work on. Sir, I'm sorry. I don't think you have anything to do with this mess. I don't think so. There was something about this newly elected man that when he opens his mouth to say something, he said it with such confidence, the idiots actually believe what he said. And they strongly believe they were going to get stimulus check. They strongly believe he was going to bring the grocery price down. They strongly believe that the country would have moved in a better path based on what he said. When he said it, most of the time you could not even understand what he was saying. He only won because he's a white man in America and apparently a successful businessman, because people did not do their homework. Because if you go through all the businesses he did, they all failed. So I don't understand, how can you take blame for what's going on right now, sir? I don't know what's in it for you to take blame. You did what you could with the 107 days you guys had. It doesn't matter what else you guys did. It would have turned out to be what it is, because white women overwhelmingly voted for this man. White men overwhelmingly voted for him. The millennials, the young men, voted for him. The only people that gave Kamala Harris 92% of the vote were black women and 80-something% of black men. Black people supported Kamala Harris, and some white people chip in and do the best they can to make sure Kamala Harris was the president. But for some reason, the Hispanic community, which he's shitting all over them right now, the Cuban, the Venezuelan from Miami, Florida especially, I hope they turn upside down and smell their own farts, because they the one that fuck it up for everybody else. They voted for him, and look how he paid them back. Mass deportation, firing left to right. even Marco Rubio turned to be a MAGA now because people, you see, one thing about the internet, we have receipts, we have audio, we have videos, we have conversation that's been taped. So when Marco Rubio now acting like whatever this man telling him is what's going to happen, sitting like he's holding a fort that he cannot smile, he cannot laugh, he cannot speak, when they were disrespecting Zelensky, we know how you feel about the guy. We know you're not in his corner. Because of a job's sake, you're going to sniff down, smell the farts, and say yes to everything. J.D. Vance, we know how you feel about him because we have evidence. We have audios. You don't like the guy, and he knows you don't like him. But because of a job's sake, you're going to act like you like everything about him. This is ridiculous. Hayes urged Walz to expand on his mea culpa, asking the governor if it was fair to characterize his party's campaign as safe and risk averse. Look, I am conservative, he responded, arguing to the depiction of the terms. I believe that system work for a long time, that you don't have to break them. Are there improvements that need to be done? Yes. And I think we are guilty of sometimes of not acting. Could the Department of Education be more efficient? Absolutely. It should not, however, he suggested, be nixed completely. To get rid of it makes no sense, he said, referencing the Department of Government Efficiency having the agency in its sights. My point on this, and I am probably the last person to give advice because we didn't get it done. I just think Donald Trump floods the zone with this. And I think, Chris, if you go ask the average American, what does the Department of Education do? They might not have a clear vision of it. Again, I think Tim Walz and VP Kamala Harris did the best they could for the time frame they had, about 107 days and 1 point something billion dollar. The American people felt like the other guy was a better guy for them because supposedly he's a successful businessman and he's a white guy. And it turned out to be the opposite of what they expected, they wanted from him. So why Tim Walz taking responsibility? I don't understand that. Please, somebody explain it to me. Just because you fell at something doesn't mean it was all your fault. You have to look at the whole shit and see America is a racist place. Because of that, they did not choose the person who had you with them to run together. Not because you did not do a good job. Not because your message did not go through. It's only simply because they are racist towards a black woman being in charge of America. They did not want to see history in the making. That's what it is. Subscribe. Thank you for watching.